podcast of the 863 series here on YouTube, put on by Matthias and his Spellbound team. I am Artemis, and I have my moderators. Tonight is open mic. So, hi, moderators.
Hello.
We are also joined in the chat with YouTube, and we are Caitlin, hop on stage. We are also joined with our YouTube audience as well with our Discord. You will be able to see all that on the screen. And we had an interesting episode that was uploaded today by our team. Hi, Kaylin. How did everyone like the episode?
I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I loved this episode so much.
Did you like it more than the previous one?
I did. The previous episode kind of like, it was a little bit hit and miss, but I feel like they're kind of getting back into the groove of things, and I was so excited to see, especially with Bailey, like props to Bailey. Well, Bailey needs way more screen time than she gets.
Right.
But
agreed. Everyone agrees. We're simps for Bailey on this platform. I love it.
Yeah, props for Bailey. But this is, I feel like they're getting back into the groove of things.
non-camera time attention with the question part.
Yeah, because they did ask. Hello, Nugs. Did you like this episode, Nugs?
I liked it a lot. I have a few theories.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and go through the show beats. I'll go through the show beats. Feel free to interrupt me at any time if you want to insert your theory about that certain beat or that certain part of the episode. The episode that we're talking about is Captured Haunted Phenomenon at the Graveyard During Overnight Challenge. We start with Matthias vlogging in the Tesla. He kind of gave us the rundown that they basically booked it out of that graveyard and just made it all the way back to... just made it back to the studio and everyone just went home. So this is the next day. Matt is also... kind of honest about his hospital visit. He said that there were some hurtful comments that kind of made him aware that he was probably in denial with all the kind of like wanting to go back to like vlog roots, kind of like with challenges and snack review and Discord runs my life type of things, like the games. And he said that he was hurt by it. Maybe he was in denial, but he just asked us to be patient because even on top of all this stuff, he's also running his studio, and with the hospital visit, it basically shocked him. You know, do any of you guys have anything about what he said in that?
The Matt monologue in the car to start off the episode, it made me feel really guilty because while all of this content change was going on, I said some things and I reacted in ways I probably shouldn't have without knowing the full situation. And to any Spellbound staff who works on Project 863 who are listening to this, I want to formally apologize because that scene made me feel so guilty. I was so angry at the hospital episode, and I feel like I kind of spoke out of turn after it came out, so it made me feel guilty, and I want to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't think we said anything bad, but we put together a little bit of reasons why people might have felt that you were acting strangely from the vault to the hospital episode, because with it being such a big shift from serious intention to silly and freelance.
I think people were mixing how Matt was acting with how the video was going to be structured, because it was obviously they were obviously going back, at least trying to go back to, you know, their older style of video, and people saw that as, oh, it's Matt, it's the serum changing Matt because all the past episodes in the past month have been, suspense.
Yeah, and that's what we pointed out, was that it was such a massive shift from the high tension.
Yeah, it was a huge. It was right away. It was that shift.
But
and without knowing as well what happened in the previous episode, at the end of the previous episode, we had nothing to go on. We suddenly had Matt exposed to a serum with no antidote, and then suddenly he's in hospital and he's acting strange.
Yeah, and so I think there has to be kind of like this like self-awareness of like how we behaved, but also not awareness, but reflection about what stepping into Matt's shoes. He went through this traumatic experience, and then he comes back and he has this entire audience basically second guessing his every move and like being like, this is not like what Matt would do pre-serum and stuff. So that could probably mess with his psyche. Like if he does something, he might be like, wait, like that would mess with somebody's psyche. But he also needs to reflect if like we were also put through a traumatic event. Not only was Matthias put through a traumatic event, so we were also. So it was like, wait a minute, like there needs to be a little bit more kind of a grace that we need to have with each other, because he didn't want. I mean, he probably didn't want to he didn't want to upload that footage because it was probably. It was graphic for him, but it might be traumatizing for him. So he compromised and he posted the audio, which that all helped us. So
I also think that the timing on it was a little bit off. Doing it after being exposed to the serum, having that sudden switch between tension and fun, was probably not the best timing. Prior to that,
it was weird.
That. Yeah.
It was such a dramatic shift from one thing to the other. And we have all been conditioned over the past 2 seasons to be like, to question everything. The whole tagline is stay curious. And we've been conditioned to look at every little detail of every little video. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, this is really what's happening. It's just, we're doing a snack review. And it just kind of throws you off balance. And you don't know where the shift comes from.
Yeah, because we weren't privy to what happened afterwards. We were not.
Yeah, we didn't know at the time.
Yeah, and but I think Matt understands that, and I think now Subject 4 understands that. So I don't think. Yes, it's the internet. There's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be haters, and there's always going to be hate comments. So, but I think generally Subject 4 was just concerned. And I don't think anyone was trying to be hurtful or mean. And I think we are being patient with Dad.
And the important thing to remember in situations like this, going forward, when you don't really like the content, it's important to remember to be constructive with your criticism. Don't just go on there and just throw hate and say, I don't like this, it sucks. Be constructive.
Yeah, because we also don't know how Matt reacted to.
Exactly.
We now know how he reacted, but we don't know if he started second guessing himself because of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, Matt's a person, and I think people forget that he's a real person. He's a human.
Wait, he is? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What? Wait, Artemis just added a whole new episode of what?
That's a whole new theory in itself.
Yeah,
is Matt a person?
I'm totally joking.
What are those?
What are those?
He has a whole 40-minute video explaining, I'm a human, guys. Come on.
But to give constructive feedback is the thing to remember. Don't just throw hate. Be constructive with your feedback. Give ideas. And be nice. Be kind. Treat others how you would want to be treated is the thing to remember.
And you have to look at it this way. When you give constructive feedback, basically that means when you don't like something, instead of just automatically going like, oh, I hated this, step back and say, okay, what don't I like about it? So,
and what did you like, right?
well, like, what didn't I like about this? And how can they fix that? Not only that way you're pointing out a problem, but you're also giving them a solution. And if it's not a solution that they would agree upon, it's something that they can build upon, and you can give feedback and it can open a conversation. So one of the best ways to offer constructive criticism is, if you're going to criticize something, try to think of a way to fix it before you criticize it. If you can't think of that, if you can't think of any option to fix it, then you should probably keep your mouth shut until you can think of something for them. Because then it's just, it could just be hate if you can't offer any type of solution for that.
Thankfully, I think we did that, but it still didn't help with us feeling guilty about the beginning of that episode.
Yeah, like I felt so bad.
We'd waited several days before we posted, and we'd put together like what was weird, what was good, and how it was such a massive shift. But it still felt like, oh, we'd done something really horrible and hurt Matt, and it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like even later in the episode when they're like, we're gonna go get lunch, and they didn't show it. I'm like, what did you have for lunch? I want to know. I'm sorry. Don't do this to me.
They're cutting us out of their lunch. We weren't invited.
We weren't invited to lunch, and I felt so bad.
We were invited last time. I'm sorry. I want to know.
But they don't have to. But that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
they
they
don't have to perform during their lunch hour. We're just all like, we're a bit selfish. We want all of their time.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, we want to know everything. But we'll go ahead and move.
Like 24 hours cameras around the studio and just turn it into the Truman Show.
Yeah, just give us the access to
the office.
Yeah,
but without the personal parts.
Yeah,
give us the Nest Cam passwords.
Let's do that. Let's not. Let's go ahead and
Quinn
jump.
Cam. Just pinning Sam to a wall and being like, okay, what did you think about the gravesite being dug up?
Okay, so we had that moment with Dad, and then he goes to the office, and they kind of talk about editors. And if you are an editor out there or inspiring to be an editor, go ahead and apply and see if you can land a job at working at Spellbound. But
I'm not old enough.
I would if I had a decent computer. Like, I run the podcast from a laptop.
I would if I knew anything about editing.
Well, that's another thing too.
If I had
seen
more
any of our videos, that's my editing.
One thing is editing audio with some flashy visuals that you can get without copyright. Another thing is editing an 863 episode.
Yeah, it kind of seems daunting, but the thing is that, I mean, you could always grow.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Because I know one of our editors, Pastel, who's working on secret projects that we haven't announced yet.
Dun, dun,
They were my host the previous episode, and they're inspiring to be a editor for Spellbound. So basically, we're kind of testing them out, and we're using their edits and giving them feedback, like how Spellbound would do, and that way it's tweaking their abilities so that they feel a little bit more comfortable to edit for or put in an application, which I think they need to put an application in right away.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I showed Pastel how to use the editing software that they use, and I'm pretty sure they're already better than I am at it.
Yeah, it's practice, guys. Practice.
Yeah, it's practice.
You can get free software. You can go and get DaVinci Resolve, download one of the episodes, and start making edits. Like, one of the best things, like, I just recently edited a music video for Subject 4, and it's up, and it's awesome. So you should check it out. But I I did that on DaVinci Resolve, which is a free software program. And if you do that enough times, then you start learning different techniques, you start learning different abilities, and then don't just stick with one editing software. Once you like make a couple edits with like DaVinci Resolve, then go and jump to HitFilm Express. Or what's the editing software that you use, Nugs?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
And that's not one of the free ones, is it?
No.
Yeah. So
I use Caden Live at the moment.
Caden Live, like I mean, there's a lot of editing software that you can jump.
There
in.
is a lot of free ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is the watermarks.
Yeah. Filmora has a free version. HitFilm does.
DaVinci Resolve is the big one that I know.
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve.
I had to make a switch, and I had Caden Live installed. So
iMovie, if you have a Mac computer, the computer version of the iMovie software is also pretty good. So it's a little bit different than the app, but it's got a lot of the same things that Premiere Pro has. That's what I first learned on.
Yeah. So if you're out there and this is like something that you want to do and you're like, but I don't have any talent, go ahead and just start messing around and playing around. Emiko, I see you on stage. What do you use to edit your videos?
I mean, I use like After Effects and all that, but I don't believe that you'd have to have like a paid editor, just like you said. You don't need to have a paid editing software to learn how to edit, because from my understanding, when I edit, I just click buttons and boom, I edit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
That's all editing is clicking buttons, guys.
Yeah.
Clicking buttons.
Clicking buttons and trying things.
I did this.
I would have to say, as somebody who is friends with somebody who kind of is editing for Spellbound right now, you do need to have kind of a decent computer because you are dealing with 4K footage. So, and I would also recommend having an external hard drive to put all that footage in, so you're not bogging down your CPU and stuff like that. So, but
2 for 2 so far. Carry on.
yeah. Well, as of right now, like if you're interested in doing this, go ahead, start. The one thing that I say to do is do some music videos. Find a piece of music that you think fits 863 really, really well, and then start editing clips of 863 to that music, to the beat, to the rhythm. Start playing with the effects. That's usually like I would say that's one of the starter type of things that you could be doing, what projects you could be doing. Start making music videos. So
I agree.
yes. All right. So after the call for editors, we also, so Matthias gets his group together. That was all at the graveyard, and they all remember they forgot the GoPro, so they can't blame Patrick for that. They realize they forgot the GoPro, and then they all make fun of Matthias for a video conference, which is funny because that's such a boomer thing to say. I have a video conference. Usually people are just like, oh, I have a Discord call, or I just have a conference.
A Zoom meeting. Like Sam did.
A Zoom meeting. And
yeah.
Apparently Matthias hates Zoom because he gets pandemic flashbacks, which we still are in.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I don't like Zoom at all.
I don't like Zoom, but I don't get a choice.
I don't appreciate it.
What was that? What was that, Caitlin?
I don't get a choice. I don't get a choice to use it. I represent my workplace in a union, and the union that I do uses Zoom for all their meetings.
You should.
So I don't get a choice.
No.
Same when we were in classes. It's I know this is off topic, but it's kind of funny that we entered the pandemic And instead of using the resources that were, I mean, some people use Hangouts, some people use Microsoft Teams, but at least where I am, most schools went on and trusted Zoom, who just kind of popped up out of nowhere.
That's
as far as I know, there were
a conspiracy theory right there. That's a conspiracy theory right there.
I mean, am I wrong? They just kind of popped up out of everywhere, and there were safety issues at some point.
Yeah, there was data breaches and stuff, and people could just join your conference call and rickroll you.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Skype. Am I right?
Skype. I remember Skype. It's
and
still
Google
on my
Talk.
computer. Google Talk. Okay.
So after the video conference call, they all pile in the Tesla, all 5 of them this time, and they ask some weird questions. Matthias mentions, like, where did he come from? Well, no, Bailey mentions, like, where did he come from? We didn't see any vehicles. We didn't see any cars. Did he drive? And then Matthias is like, did he follow us? And
the questions that were asked were, where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from?
Cotton Eye Joe. Exactly. You made the Southern man giggle.
That came out.
Oh, by the way, Shades, it's good to have you back.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
And did he murder Wes to steal his ID? That was a question.
That really depends on what's in the case that they found, right?
Did they take the case? They took the case.
They did, right? But they didn't show it this episode. It was a cliffhanger for the next episode.
Yeah.
Of course. You gotta love the cliffhangers.
Yeah. Did he was this Wes still staging his own death? Which Wood says that if you would want to stage your own death, you would probably do that more publicly, which I would agree with Woods on that.
Well, I mean, technically, he didn't... my thought when they brought that up is it didn't necessarily have to be public. It would have just had to be for Nelson, right? Because if he was indeed on the quote-unquote good side, the only person that he would really have to stage it for was Nelson and the people that were loyal to him, right?
True. So basically, all of Syntech, though. But you would kind of want that. What was that, Ink Knight?
I think that there'd be at least a more official quote-unquote grave. Because, just the number and the death date...
Yeah, you wouldn't...
I think it's not enough proof.
If I was Cyphus, that grave, I'd be like, oh, that's funny. This is clearly not real. So... I mean, I think what Woods was trying to say was it would probably been a more official type of death if you were going to stage your own death and not just buried out in the woods somewhere with not even your name on it, but your employee ID. So
yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense.
So they arrive at the location. Woods, Matt, and Subject 4, which was Quinn. They go ahead and leave the girls behind. They realize that the grave has been dug up, and it's kind of a shallow dig. There is a pickaxe that's leaning against the tombstone when they walk up. And the GoPro is on the ground. They pick it up, talk about the shallow grave. They rebury it. They say some words. Matt thanks him for being one of the good guys. And then back in the Tesla, Matt says he's bummed out and angry. And they kind of vent what they had just seen. And they're basically kind of bummed out because it's it was basically a grave tampering. And that that would make anyone feel very uneasy, and especially because it's like you're just disturbing the dead. Just let the dead lie. But they're back at the mega desk, and they're looking through the footage. The Phantom appears off into the distance. The question was, could he have been in that field the entire time? The Phantom walks up, watches them shine the flashlight. He looks up at them and then just walks away. Then a mist, almost like a mist of light, appears at the grave at 4 a.m. and gets brighter and brighter, and the shapes kind of shift. And they go and ask everyone else in the audience what they think it is, and nobody really knows. Everyone's just saying screaming ghost and paranormal phenomenon. And then they realize that they are going to find more answers in the case that they find. And that is the end of our episode. So, I know Shade says this is one of his favorite episodes.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, this was a really good episode, and I have a lot to say about this, and I don't know where to start. But the whole supernatural thing, like, I think that's where everybody wants to jump to, because it's a ghost, because of the previous overnight videos. But when they first walk up to the grave, none of this really sits right with me, because if you look, it's like uniformly dug up. Like, nobody digs like that. Nobody digs a perfectly circular pattern with all of the dirt around the hole. It just seems weird to me. And then when you watch the footage back of the Phantom walking up to the grave, it seemed like, I don't know, it seems off to me. It's like he's not visiting a grave. He's there for a purpose. He's there to get something. And my theory is the fact that there's not a person buried in that grave. There's not a person there. There's something there, but it's not a person. He's there to get something. And when the team are led there by the map that's under the hood of the Mountaineer, they're not sent there by chance or to encounter the Phantom. They were sent there to encounter whatever was in that grave, whatever caused that weird mist of light that came out of the ground. They were sent there to dig up that grave. And retrieve whatever was in it.
Mm-hmm. Was that Kaylin?
Can I ask, is it normal over there to dig up a grave with a pickaxe?
Well, to break the ground. I love
how she said over there.
Well,
I'm in England. We use a shovel.
Because I kind of, like, I'm in Arizona, they're in California. We kind of have the same kind of clay and whatnot and desert climate. They're next to an ocean, though, but lucky them. But the top soil is going to be really, really hard in the desert. So you're going to want to use the pickaxe to break that up. So generally, the first thing you do when you're going to dig something up here is you're going to use the pickaxe to break up that topsoil. So that's probably why it was left behind, because it was the first tool used. And then he probably moved to a shovel and then walked off with the shovel and forgot that he had the pickaxe. So that's where my head is. Because I don't dig a hole. I don't dig any holes. If I need to dig a hole, I need somebody to start the hole for me here. Because we were building a retaining wall on the east side of my property. And I was like, Dad, can you start the hole for me? So yeah, you kind of need a hole starter. But
we have clay soil, so it's similar, but it's mostly mud based, so it makes it easier to break.
Yeah, you guys have a very wet climate. It's like a wet sponge. absorbs everything. This episode was probably my third favorite this season so far. It wasn't.
It was one of my favorites as well.
It was. It wasn't the favorite. Like, I really enjoyed the previous episode before that because it was just nice. It was just nice hanging out with everybody, playing slapjack, trying to teach Matt how to play slapjack. But there was mystery with it. There was why is there a grave? We walk up to the grave. We start getting like, we do have more questions, but we're starting to get answers. Then the surprise jump scare at the end, like that, I loved all that. This episode, the thing that I enjoyed the most was not the ghost phenomenon at all. It was the phantom. Like, everyone's talking about the ghost.
And I think overall, it was a pretty balanced episode. Like, both these last episodes, they weren't too vloggy and not too much lore or mystery.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I think that was my favorite part of these last two episodes, and I wasn't here I haven't even listened to Wednesday's podcast about last episode because I was camping, but I think that the balance that they've had in these last two episodes of Project 863, I'm liking a lot because it reminds me a lot of kind of season 1. And it's got a really nice balance between, like you were saying, Inky, balance between the story and kind of fun, because I still like that sort of, there's that vloggy style which I still like, but there's also a lot of that story still in there. So
I think what's made the past two episodes so good in our minds is where we've come from before these past two episodes. We're so excited to get back on track and see some semblance of what we're used to. And not saying that the other episodes were bad, and I mean no disrespect, but I prefer this style of video, just my personal preference.
These two newer ones?
And the older ones, like the beginning of season 2, those are my favorite episodes where stuff, and Matt says that things got too fantastical too quick, but that's when you really start to dive deep into this story and you kind of get lost in it. That's my favorite thing about it is the fantastical nature of it.
Yep.
With me, again, and probably Caitlin probably agrees, I'm more science than, like, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Hey, Ghostbusters is science.
I believe the light was the ectoplasma. Like, no.
Well, no, I wasn't going to say
aliens,
like
man.
that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying on the Spellbound server. I was all like, I'm not saying it's aliens, but I'm saying it's aliens.
But it's the aliens.
It's the aliens.
They're coming down.
I know it was the mothership calling Wes home. Like,
Explains a lot of what Deb says.
Well, one of the theories that has come up, Soroxa has come up with. Sorry to throw you into the table, Soroxa, if you're listening. And if you're listening, how dare you not be on stage?
Nah, he's playing video games.
Oh, okay. So he's streaming. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Fine. I'm gonna say his theory. His theory was maybe Matt's, radioactive serum-based body might have triggered something when he was when they walked up to the grave. It could have triggered something.
Oh.
Okay. I kind of threw out there maybe it was the rings. Because they all, except for Bailey and Quinn, have rings. So maybe because Deb said that she has specific specifications for the rings. So maybe that has to do with something that maybe they unlocked something walking up there.
Possibly. It would have taken a while because when they actually walked up to the grave, that was hours before the light came from the ground. So maybe it takes a while for whatever's in there to activate from the rings, or I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but
besides, how long has it been in there?
That's a good point.
We
have a theory about
how long has it laid dormant in the ground?
Sorry, Caitlin.
Where it is now.
What was your theory, Caitlin?
That specific trigger.
What was your theory, Caitlin?
We have a theory about the rings.
What is that?
We actually went back through a couple of things, and the rings were given to the team only after they gave up the emulator. So we wondered if there's either a material within the rings or something about the rings themselves that lets Deb track where they are.
So a tracking device.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she wants to give us all one? That's weird.
Yep.
That's weird. You could just have my Snapchat, Deb. It's easier. My location's on.
I'll just turn my GPS on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta friend me on Pokemon Go.
I mean, it's not that hard, Deb. If you want to know us, we're out there.
That's why Wes was out there. He was trying to catch that
He was
Pikachu.
playing Pokemon. It was shiny.
There was one sitting on top of the grave.
Shiny.
Oh my gosh.
I never played that.
We
Never
are
got
such
into it.
nerds, except for Nugs, apparently.
I just know of it, and I just shook my head at all the people playing it.
So the Phantom's out there just trying to catch Pokemon. And just, only at 3 a.m. this one specific Pokemon comes out at this one spot.
Maybe
That's
what
what they
was under
saw.
the ground was a Pokemon gym.
He's out there. He's
Yes.
like, dang it! I used all my Master Balls. What do I do now?
Oh. Here I am, all like me and Kaylin are all science based. It's Pokemon Go! Okay.
That's what it is. It's definitely Pokemon
Spellbound team, if you're out there and you are listening, we need you to go back again to the location and let us know if there's any rare Pokemon around, and then that.
Is there a Mewtwo out there? What was he out there?
Was he catching the shiny?
Maybe the eyes in the mask have a screen. It's just he's always playing Pokemon Go. That's where he's doing all the time.
Oh, he's just constantly seeing the Pokemon wherever he goes.
Yes, yes.
That's why he's been in the studio.
And he walks everywhere he goes to hatch his eggs.
What happened?
Yeah.
No. I think they might use like the fan method where it just goes back and forth by gluing the phone to the fan, just spins.
True story. I used to do that.
And the only reason he smashed the Apple II was because he couldn't catch that Pokemon.
I used to hook my iPhone to my drone and fly it around to hatch my eggs. True story.
That's a really smart idea.
My gosh, I used to just put it on my dog. Like, I would just strap
They
my
did this
phone.
thing where you can connect it so you're like Fitbit now, and you can just walk for hours. You just put your
But the
Fitbit
thing
around
is, it's
the
like-
animal and off it goes.
Us Americans, we don't want to walk, so we're gonna put it on anything we can to.
I tried that with my dog, but my dog was just as lazy as me, so I had to seek other methods.
Nothing was a better method.
Dog's like, I don't want to run around for you.
I'm staying inside where it's cool. All right, well, let's grab that and throw that away.
Throw that theory away.
Because
Put that one in the vault for later.
I saw
just in
no
case.
phones in there, so unlikely.
yeah, true, but
He's not staring at his phone like, is there anything in here?
But like,
You know, he could have had two phones right behind his little gloving glasses.
why did he walk up the grave so sad? He was just standing there looking at it, and he just turns around,
What's weird is
sees
he
them,
stood
and just
there-
walks away.
he stood there, and it's like he almost took a deep breath, like he was like, like he was sad, and it was like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there couldn't have been anybody in that grave, right? Right? Maybe.
Well, the thing is, like they were saying, it really was dug shallow. Like,
Yeah.
usually they don't put the casket right in the ground. They dig it.
Oh no, it's like 6 feet plus.
Yeah, exactly. So if he was trying to do that, maybe he just like, I'm not digging that far. Never mind. I'm too lazy for this.
Well, you don't want to. Sorry, gonna be graphic here. You don't want to bury a body shallow because animals will smell it. So then you get animals. Yeah, they'll dig it up. So if it was that shallow of a grave, then no, there's no body there because animals had already dug it up. But I mean, if he had actually dug 6 feet, which you're supposed to, then yeah. But I mean, I kind of agree with our team to not keep digging to find out because that's weird. But yeah. I'm a little. What was that?
Or if there's a heavy rain or flooding, the grandpa will be floating across the field somewhere, and you don't want that. That'd be horrible.
That'd be so sad.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, that imagery.
Editors, cut that out.
No, keep it in.
I'll cut that out.
No, editor Nugs.
No, you keep that in, Nugs. You keep that in.
Yeah, if the Pokemon thing stays,
I was
that.
thinking. I mean, is there a chance that he was still looking for the case? Like, he probably doesn't know that the Matt and the team had already taken it out. So he might have been gone looking for it.
But if we go with the theory that he had been there, every day every morning, 3 a.m.,
right.
He would have found it in that, almost 20-year gap.
Well, unless he followed them, like Bailey was saying.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he wasn't the one who originally put whatever was there. He was there looking for something, but he's not the one who placed it there.
I didn't think he was.
If he was looking for that case, and he's the one who put it there, he would have known where it was.
Yeah.
And then the other theory comes up of, if you murder someone and try to steal their identity, and the evidence is in fact in that case, why are you going to put it less than 6 feet away from the grave of the person that you murdered? That doesn't seem very smart to me.
No, someone could randomly come across the grave, see the case, and phone the police. That's just
right.
That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone on YouTube brought up an argument that I think it's really interesting. Crystal Lynch says that I don't believe there was a body in the grave, not because it was shallow, but because it didn't seem long enough to fit an adult body.
Agreed, but that was something I thought prior
that
to
hole,
actually
again,
going
and that
back.
hole wasn't. Oh, sorry.
It's not even rectangular shaped to fit
the hole wasn't
a
very
possible
deep.
human.
The hole wasn't very deep, so he probably, it didn't look like he tried to, dig as far as he should if he wanted to pull the whole thing out,
I'm thinking
Kaylin?
something smaller was buried there, and he dug just deep enough to find whatever it was and took it.
That's what I was thinking too. Something on, like above if there is a casket above the casket.
Right.
Kaylin, do you know?
The Muffin
Do
Man?
I know?
Do you
I do know
know
the Muffin Man.
what different types of radioactivity does to footage?
I know of one type of radiation and what it does to footage, but I'd have to research the rest.
Yeah, because I know, like in Chernobyl, I would have to go look at that footage, but it destroys footage, and so you had the Medusa effect, where they had to film the elephant's foot down a hall and around the corner, because anyone who's close enough to see the thing, you immediately die. That's why they call it the Medusa. which is, if anyone is so freaking confused right now, the Medusa / elephant's foot is the radioactive core of Chernobyl that had melted all the way through down into the underground tunnel that they had. And there's actually a picture that you can find on the internet. You just type in Medusa, elephant's foot, Chernobyl. It'll pop up and come up. But if you were ever to see that thing with your human eyes, you would just instantly be dead because of the radioactivity. But they couldn't. That's the only way that they could get a photograph of it, is with a mirror looking down around the corner of the hallway. But we do know that life's blood is radioactive. And we do know that Wes... Wait. Okay, hold on. So much evidence in the brain, I'm getting confused. Kaylin, we have letters that somebody was blaming Deb for basically them getting hooked on life's blood, correct?
Yeah.
But it was redacted, and we just assumed it was Wes, right?
Yeah.
So we were working under the assumption that it's Wes. Do we have any evidence that it was Wes that has taken life's blood?
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily, but we do have the letters from Deb saying something happened to him, right?
I don't think
there also says that there was an accident.
Somebody said.
Actually, no, we don't. There was an accident, but it wasn't said who the accident was to.
Oh,
yeah, there's no names.
And the only thing that we have on Wes is that there was no connection now.
The only thing Deb's ever said about Wes is that communication has been cut off with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's never said how long ago, though.
Right.
So, let's work under the theory that Wes did die with life's blood in him. Could this have been some kind of like radioactive exposure on the lens of the GoPro?
I don't think so.
You just don't want it to be.
No, listen.
Say it again, Artemis, sorry.
Okay, hold on a second. Could it be, let's work under the assumption that Wes did take life's blood, was addicted to it, did have all this radioactivity inside of his body. So now he's buried in a shallow grave. We have a GoPro looking at it. And maybe the GoPro, from just sitting there within this radioactivity, has kind of a lens flaring effects on the lens, because the GoPro lenses aren't as good as like the vlogging cameras that they have.
My only issue with that is that flare would have started within the first hour and would have continued all the way through the video, not just been segregated to one area.
True. But maybe the wind blew it away. I know. Which, yes, yes, radioactivity does blow away, guys.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So, and was it windy? I can't remember.
I don't
remember.
But I was going back to the letters that the team found in the RV. Specifically the one that said that without human limitations that plague me every day, that one, it wasn't specified to Wes either.
No, it's not.
It didn't say, Wes. I know, yeah. So it's not necessarily specified it was to Wes, or Wes was the one to take the serum. It was just saying that it just said you have to stop the injections.
Yeah, and I believe that Kaylin and CompSci Girls stuff, they made that discovery while they were doing their transcripts. And go ahead and Airport, if you've got their link, if you could post it in the chat, go ahead and look their content up. They go deep into the evidence. But I remember you guys saying that, and it was like one of those like, oh, that's interesting. And then you guys said something else that was even more interesting than that. I think it was like the patient that the subject files are actually patient files.
Yeah, everything that we saw, because we completely phased over this. That we've been talking subject for so long, but we went back and looked at the evidence, and it was Steph that did it, but she was looking at it and she's like, why does it say patient if they're subjects? And then it dawned on her. It says patient, not subject.
Yeah, and we don't have a file on subject 4, so we're actually the only true subjects because we don't have a file that's labeling us as patients.
The website files in the secret, you password, whatever, in the website, it said subject, not patient.
No, it says patient. That's what we're talking about.
Really?
Yes, it does. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. It calls them patients.
It does say patient.
Well, that's what keyed us into it the first time. Yeah.
Yep.
But it does say subject when Matthias went to talk to Deb in the episode where he asked the first SOS call.
Yeah.
D3B said, please
Deb is the only
number.
Deb is the only one to call us subjects. And so one of the theories that I was playing with was that Deb had labeled it patient on the subject files just to kind of... Wait, who was that? It was somebody last week that said... that Deb probably put patient on there to cover up the fact that she had subjects, so that to kind of make it like if Cyphus ever got a hold of him, it just looks like regular patient files. Somebody said that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So, but one of the things that was brought up last week, the last episode, Nugs, while you were on vacation, was the only one to call the phantom, or phantoms, because she said that there's multiple of them, was Deb. That's the first time we ever heard the word phantom was from Deb. And when you look up phantom, it says figment of imagination. So we have this creature, this thing, that's a figment of an imagination that Deb calls it. A scientist calls, like, let's be honest here, like a scientist calls them phantoms. Sitting in a graveyard. It's a little weird. So, what do you guys think about that?
Well, hold on for a second. So the file names for the patient, they're the subject files. It says subject 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? But on the paper, it says patient.
Patient.
I think. Yeah.
But again, they're Deb's files, and Deb's the only one to refer to them as subject.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one to call us subjects is Deb. There's no paperwork that actually... Caitlin, what's the difference between patient and subject?
Patient is being treated, and a subject is being tested on.
Sounds lovely, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the patients in Syntech weren't treated like subjects.
Mm-hmm. But that would insinuate that the people in Syntech were being treated for something instead of being studied or tested upon.
Exactly.
That's why we believe that the original purpose of Syntech was to treat rarer conditions.
Yeah, that's what I thought would from all the patient logs, right?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like from all those different lab notes and patient logs.
I mean, also, nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to be a mad scientist today. It happens corruptly, like slowly. So, Syntech, there was a pure form of Syntech, and they wanted to go out and change the world and make an impact on the world. And somewhere along the way with Project Pegasus, with the government contract, maybe their ideals, especially with Cyphus, had shifted.
Yeah, that's what we associate the different logos as well. The original Syntec logo is that purity. That's why it's the hearts. The snake logo is that broken point. And then Project 863 logo is Deb trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I kind of like that.
And not to get on a spiel here, but you know, the government has been known to get into some shady business at times, and things didn't seem to go awry until Syntex started messing around with government contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's if Squatter was here, he would definitely be like, well, the only thing to corrupt somebody would be the government, wouldn't it?
The government.
Squatter, if you're listening,
Not
love you.
our money. Or both.
Taxation is theft.
I mean, wasn't the contract with the government was in like a exchange for favors and stuff?
I think it was
Money and power.
Money, yeah.
Yeah, money.
Money, power, and government. The tools to corruption.
Don't get me started on absolute power.
Joshy, I'm not sure how your theory. I don't understand it. They said Cyphus kills Wes to get him on his side. But then he's dead.
Yeah.
They're suggesting that the life's blood would have any type, like revival.
You have a sidekick? Well, I have a ghost sidekick. Beat that.
Eat my zombie minions, I dare you.
Like I don't think revival properties it would work unless it was like a shot to the heart or something that immediately fixes up the bullet hole or something and tries to kickstart the heart. I don't know.
Well,
you still don't know what the serum does.
You gave us the person in the Reddit who had triangulated the bullet flow, and they basically said that there was probably a third person in the vehicle. So...
Wait, was that something you guys went over in the last episode?
Yeah. Inknight, do you still have that link?
Watch it.
Let me find the link.
Let me find the link.
I know. I just had it up too because...
Linkable says, I believe the conclusion is that he isn't dead.
Yeah.
Found it. Found Pastel's link.
Okay.
I believe he isn't dead. And Artemis, if you check your messages between me and Steph and you'll see what I think.
I don't think Wes is dead either.
Part 1 and
Part 1?
Part
2.
Oh,
I did see this.
It's in two separate posts.
I did see this. Yeah. I saw this when I was on Spellbound the other day. It was really interesting.
Yeah, that there was possibly... So when I'm thinking 3 people in the Mountaineer, I am automatically thinking Deb, Wes, and Cyphus. What if they killed Cyphus?
Yeah.
What if Deb...
But then wouldn't that be Deb manipulating us for something else?
If they killed Nelson, then who would the Phantom have been kind of... Because remember in the video with the RV, after they left, they heard in the audio that he was talking to somebody, the Phantom. Talking to what seemed like somebody, one of his superiors, right? So if we go...
Well, we know that there are multiple Phantoms.
Right. I'm saying if we go with the theory that Nelson was killed, then who would he be talking to?
Wes or Deb?
But why would the Phantom be talking to Deb?
I don't know, because
I'm totally inclined to believe it's Wes. I've said from the moment that episode aired that he's talking to Wes.
Yeah, because he specifically said, whoever he's talking to on the phone, he specifically said, yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Which is very interesting.
So, let's play with Wes' theory.
Maybe stop it.
Let's let's say, okay. Let's say that is Deb killing Cyphus. And Wes is now after revenge of his best friend.
That would mean Deb lied to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see Deb lying to us. I mean, that's not a far stretch for me.
No,
I mean,
I wouldn't say lie. I would say withhold information.
Oh no, she stated that she wouldn't go that far.
Oh.
My head hurts with this theory, though.
But not other kind of lies, I think. Because like lies of omission, she's been doing all along.
Yeah.
Withholding information.
Because that would explain why the Phantom walks up slowly, more reverently, and respectful and sad. Because this is his ex-boss. I don't know, though.
Or maybe maybe the Phantom's looking back on his own past in reverence, thinking this is the life he used to have. This is everything he ever wanted, and now he has to walk around with a face mask doing all these dirty deeds that he doesn't want to do just to stay alive.
Can we talk about how the Phantom got there? Because that whole part where he almost just appeared there, because there was nothing there, and then it was just he was just kind of there, in one frame, which is, I found it very interesting. And then I thought Cloak and Dagger, those two Marvel characters, the Cloak character, he could teleport, and he could his cloak or whatever. I don't really know much about him, but I know that he could teleport, and he was a sort of portal where he could teleport somebody else. That kind of just it made me think about that when I first saw that. He just kind of appeared there, because he appeared there and then just turned slowly.
I remember that we were like watching. We were talking about this in the Theorist channel here on the podcast Discord. Airport, send the links now.
Yeah.
But I know that someone mentioned that there were car tracks. Yes, we don't know if these were for him to try and dig up and find something. If he was there before and the car tracks were already there. We don't know.
Well,
but that there were car tracks.
If you go back and you watch the second episode and they're walking around the grave and stuff, the car tracks are already there.
Yeah, those are already there. Those look like they've been there for a while.
And I was trying to figure out whether they were there the night before, but I haven't been able to see any. It's such a small light area.
You can see it on the Go. You can see it. Yeah, you can see in the GoPro before the Phantom walks up and then turns around. So the tire tracks are there before. Another thing that I've been seeing on Spellbound is a lot of pictures of people saying that they see the Phantom before 3 a.m. in the background. Have you guys ever seen that?
I kind of looked through it, and I didn't see anything in the back further. There were some, when they walked around during the day, there was some like large, looked like stumps around the area, which could have been mistaken for a person in that light.
Yeah, when I watched the footage back, the 3 a.m. footage back, even before 3 a.m., I could see things out in the distance that I thought could be the Phantom, but then where he appears is that you can tell they're stationary objects, like Nug's just saying, they're tree stumps or rocks or whatever they are out there. Where he comes from,
I think they're fence posts. I'm going through the video now because I'm making a project. I'm doing a project right now, but I'm scrolling through the video, and I think they're just fence posts, like wooden. Because I
But
can
where
kind
the
of see him in the
Phantom
back.
appears, it's completely open out there, and he just kind of appears out in the open.
I'll post a screenshot of what I'm seeing. But they're kind of tall fence posts way out in the back, kind of where that.
Adriana Geraldo says at 27:39 you could see the Phantom in the background with the mask, but he didn't have the red part on or attack. You can see his mask reflect the light a bit if you look in the back of the photo of this photo. Let me post this in the chat. Sorry, people on YouTube, you're not going to be able to see it. There's the photo. It's coming.
It's coming.
Okay, you can kind of see the two lights in the background. That's the lights reflecting where...
That's something with the lens. I think
that's something. That's either a building off in the distance or either a reflection off of the lens of the camera. That's what that is.
Yeah, because whoa.
That's completely the opposite direction of where the Phantom came from.
Yeah, and it looks about the same kind of hue that this lantern is as well. So I think it looks like, like a camera lens flare. If you look at the sun or whatever, it kind of looks like it's just light reflecting off the lens, I think.
It looks like someone, like in a white t-shirt at the very least, so...
I don't see a white t-shirt.
Maybe it's just me.
That's okay.
Somebody else on Spellbound, Aryan Parmar, posted this picture. It says, isn't it interesting that you can no longer read 863 on the gravestone when the light appears?
I mean, I don't think it was very visible in the first place.
No, it wasn't very visible because it looked like it was like ingrained into the stone.
Yeah.
And so without the right lighting, it'll be almost invisible because it's not like it's not painted on. Or it's not paint like the engraving part isn't painted in. So without the right lighting, you won't be able to see it barely at all.
Like this 015 right here that's ingrained pretty deep within the stone. And the 863 part is, you can tell it's really shallow, like where it's etched into the stone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one more thing from Spellbound. Crazy Eyes wants to know why his eyes are crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
His eyes are crazy.
We have no idea. The picture's loading. It's just taking forever. Basically, in this picture that's popping up, if they want to know, is this the Phantom's RV that's in the background? I'll have to ask them where they get their timestamp. Why are you going so slow, phone? Laptop. Maybe it's because I called you a phone. Sorry, laptop.
Yeah, it's just being mean now.
Now it's all like, oh, you want it? Oh, it's taking it away. No.
Oh, you want it slow? Let's try this.
Here, send it to me, and I'll put it out.
It's no,
see
it's
if that works.
No, it's almost there.
Okay.
Processing.
There you go.
Okay, they want to know if that's the RV of the Phantom. The Phantom's
No,
RV.
that's different.
No,
That's the trailer.
That's a pull behind.
Yep.
The one the Phantom had was a drivable. I think they call it a coach or whatever it is.
It's not a caravan. It's just the okay.
Are you okay? I'm just finding random things on Spellbound to throw at you guys.
Yep. So we're about an hour now. Are we gonna invite people to hop up on stage?
Usually open mic, we just do us. But yeah, we can if there's somebody out there who has a dying, burning theory. Does anyone have a dying, burning theory? No, so you're gonna have to call them up because I'm doing the recording from my laptop.
Yep, all good. If you guys want to hop up, there's a raise your hand feature. You can raise that hand, and I can pick somebody out.
Raven, then I suggest you start running home. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to hear all the time travel theories. Okay,
Shades. We had one last week, and it wasn't really time travel. It was more that the Phantom and Deb are phasing out of our reality, which is outside of time. And
that would explain how the Phantom just magically appeared in the field, right?
I would like that. That does seem pretty interesting.
So that is a theory that is out there. You're welcome, Shades. I only did that because I love you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the pity.
All right, let us pull somebody up. Marty, I'm gonna pull you. I'm gonna invite you to speak. You can. This should be a little thing that pops up. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good. I've had this theory since they found the mountain here.
Okay.
What if lifeblood isn't to bring someone back to life, but we all know that the military wanted stuff made for Syntech. What if Syntech built a serum that can cure wounds and everything?
Kind of like a cure-all.
Instant heal.
Yeah, basically. But it went wrong. And now it's killing...
Oh, okay.
Can I throw something at you, Marty?
Yeah?
It's something that popped up in my head while watching this episode. What if life's blood is what that name is? It's like you're stealing life's blood, but you have to do it from a dead person.
Oh, kind of like Voldemort and the
yeah,
and the
kind of like a Horcrux.
kind of like a Horcrux, but the Phantom is using that on Wes. And that's why he has to revisit the grave every single day at 3 a.m. He has to just revisit the grave. And what we're seeing caught on the footage is basically like his life's blood being carried over to the Phantom.
I don't know.
I honestly, it's sci-fi, it's mystical, it popped in my head, but what you were saying basically about life's blood, I wanted to throw that at you and add that to you.
Yeah. But like, I don't think Deb knows Wes is dead.
Or she does, and she doesn't want to tell us
because she doesn't want to
scare. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want. I don't know.
Either that or she's in denial.
If you remember from the card tape, it was between Deb and Wes saying, and she was trying to save him, that we already have the implication that she has some kind of time travel loop thing going on. But it's clear that she's trying to save Wes with the project. We don't know the details yet. She tells the team that it's to save Cyphus, but we know it's also to try and save Wes.
Yeah,
if Wes is dead, how is she going to bring him back from death?
Time travel.
Time loop going on then.
Yes.
She says, because I know this timeline will work. The 863 subjects, they're different. Far beyond what I could have expected. And then shortly after that, she says, "I'm just trying to keep you. That's been my top priority since day one."
And in these different timelines that she keeps encountering, there are constants within the constructs of time. There are things that are unequivocally unavoidable in the constructs of time. And what she keeps running into is that no matter what she does, no matter how hard she tries, Wes is going to die. But somehow she sees something within the subjects of Project 863 that are different, that gives her hope that they can save Wes this time in this timeline.
It's possible.
Well, one of the theories that was brought up last week, Shades, was basically the groundhog effect, that she's caught in a time loop trying to save Wes. And Ink Knight brought this up to us, and basically that it's a Groundhog's Day effect, that she's caught in this time loop to try to save Wes. She tried to save him in the fire, and then when she saved him in the fire, he just ended up getting shot.
Right.
So she needs
like a Life is Strange situation.
Yeah, Life is Strange.
But Max and Chloe is Deb and Wes.
And
or the trio and Syntech.
What we were saying last podcast was basically Deb needs someone outside the time loop to change the events, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that you know, and it makes perfect sense because, you know, say she saves Wes from the fire. Well, then after she saves him from the fire, he gets shot. Well, she saves him from getting shot, and then he gets addicted to life's blood, and it's just a vicious cycle that keeps happening. But she needs someone from outside of the timeline to help correct it. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's going to ever be able to. That's the thing.
Yeah, if we go with that theory, we could go back to the B-side of the hidden tape that was in the dashboard of the Mountaineer. I have it up here. I'll read it off. But it says, Deb, I think I can stop this from happening. I think I can save you. Wes, you said we went down this path before. What makes this time any different from the last? Deb, you've got to trust me a little, at least with this. Wes, why? Deb, because I know this timeline will work. The 863 subjects, they're different, far beyond what I could have expected. It'll be tight, but I think we finally found our way out of this. No, I know we have.
I think the reason why this timeline is so different is the fact that there's a subject for us.
Yeah, I said that on last podcast too, because we as a community, not as an individual. It's like Artemis always says at the end of the streams, the conversation never stops. Keep talking, keep communicating, keep dismantling each other's theories, because one person could turn the dominoes to fall in another direction.
Just to throw a Lord of the Rings quote out there, even the smallest person could change the course of the future.
But yeah,
thank you.
But the little that I do know about Doctor Who, which it's only because of the podcast, let's be honest, I do know that certain things happen and cannot be changed, like the absolute dates that we have on the podcast, on the series. But I'm not sure if Wes is we are able to rescue him or to stop. We might be able to stop Nelson, but we might not be able to save Wes. And Deb's gonna realize that at some point she's gonna run out of options, and she can't keep trying to fix the timeline.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, to be able to conquer evil, you have to sacrifice something. A sacrifice has to be made, and I think that's the point that she's missing. This isn't about saving Wes. It's about defeating Syntech and what they're doing, and to do that, you have to make the ultimate sacrifice, and that's why Wes keeps dying. They could have defeated Syntech 100 times over for all we know, but she keeps going back and trying to save Wes. But ultimately, she will find out that no matter what she does, Wes has to die for the greater good to prevail.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if Wes and Deb have kids, and that's the reason why she wants to save Wes all the time?
I don't want kids. I don't want kids involved.
because there's kids' toys
kids' toys
in the car.
Yeah.
And we know that it was Wes's car.
Well, it was the Phantoms. He got bored one day and just bought himself a toy car.
No, I don't think that's
oh, the Phantom was babysitting.
He saw this little fire engine that looked exactly like the Mountaineer and went,
Who would let
that?
the Phantom babysit their kids?
Matt looks out the window, the Phantom standing next to the Mountaineer with a little kid in his arms.
Who would let the Phantom babysit their kids?
He's just pushing them on the swing.
Don't worry, I'll bring your kids back at about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
If that's not a fan art soon, I will be disappointed.
Yeah, so will I.
Like the Phantom pushing somebody's kid on the swing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody get on that. Pastel, if you're here,
can
get
I
on
have
it.
some more lifeblood?
Well, apparently he coaches baseball. Strike one, strike two.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
don't give me that stupid pity laugh. Well, no, thank you so much for your theory. I know we went on rabbit trails, but that's us today.
Vroom vroom.
Thank you so much for your theory. Sorry, we're Pokemon Go and Phantom is the babysitter. That is us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marty.
No problem.
Alrighty, let's get somebody else up here. Bread, my friend, come on up.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Bread. On bread.
Hello. So hoping you pitch me because I am going to advance on. I had an initial theory, but then it changed as soon as you talked about Wes talking about Project 863, which was named after his death. So I'm thinking that the time travel theory is confirmed because of Wes's death. Wes's death is an absolute date to Project 863. And so, whenever he dies, Deb goes back and tries to save him every single time, but she can't. She lets him know about it, she lets him know about the project name, but she doesn't tell her why she named it that way. Wes dies, and she picks a group of people to go try to avenge him and destroy Syntech. And I'm also thinking she pre-picks the people, which is how she got Sam and how she wrote her name years before it happened.
I think that's kind of a compilation of what we've been saying the past few minutes, yeah.
And also, Wes died. How would you be talking to Wes about his death?
because he's a ghost now.
Yeah.
We saw it on the tape. Weren't you paying attention? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
His soul
You're just like,
came
you're walking down
bearing
the
out of the ground.
Wes is
You're
now the
walking down the
guardian.
hall, you've got a coffee in your hand, you're sipping it, and then you look over and you just see a white figure talking to Deb, and you're like, I'm gonna stop drinking for today. That's enough caffeine. You're like Artemis.
You don't need caffeine, dude.
You're like Artemis. You're seeing figures in the light.
Ha ha.
No, you don't need coffee. You need to lick the TV.
Yeah.
Artemis, talking about
If
Yeah,
you
I'll give you
haven't
this.
licked an old-fashioned TV, then you're missing out. I'm just saying. Tastes like ice cream. Change the channels. They have different flavors.
I mean, you could just go buy some ice cream and.
Yeah.
Also,
when you-
guys, you guys aren't paying attention enough because clearly the ghost was playing Pokemon Go. There was just a raid nearby. He didn't have enough internet under the ground.
It's a gym raid.
Yeah, he didn't have enough internet underneath the ground. He wanted to get that Rayquaza.
His Wi-Fi router was in there. That's what he was after.
Yeah.
No, the fan
That's
art that
what-
we need
that's what
the fan art of the Phantom playing Pokemon Go while pushing a kid in the swing.
I would
That's
pay
what we
money to
need.
see that.
So
I'm commissioning. I'm commissioning Emiko today for that.
Or Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky is really good with that.
Rubber Ducky,
he
where are
made
you?
nugs.
Rubber Ducky.
Yeah, Rubber Ducky
no
made my
one-
profile.
No. Shades. No. Oh.
I'm never gonna
Right,
do
no.
anything fun.
You're such a liar. You're on the podcast. This is fun.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
no,
fun.
He's forced to be here.
Artie's texting me the whole time.
I know he's
I am not.
Yes, you are. Don't lie.
I didn't hear your ringtone or my ringtone go off once. Here, actually, send me a text right now. Send me a text right now. I want you guys to hear my ringtone.
God, here
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh. No.
Artemis.
That's my ringtone. It's just Matt laughing and saying my name. And it scares the hell.
Hear it.
You didn't hear it? I'll have to like I don't know. Here, try it
also-
again.
You've got your crisp on.
Do I?
Yeah,
Let me shut off my crisp.
your crisp.
My crisp. Oh. Okay, go.
Again?
Yeah.
I get tired of sending you the same picture of me in a Speedo.
Artemis.
Whoa.
Did you hear that?
No, I was talking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Just ignore it. We'll get it later.
I swear to
We'll
God.
clip it later.
Yeah.
I was very
Can't-
worried that your ringtone was
Alright.
going to be the LAPD phone tune.
No,
It's such a
no, no,
trigger.
no, no, no.
No.
No,
That is
actually,
seriously such a trigger now.
I got a new phone. And that was its preset ringtone.
Oh, God, no.
So it was like, you're going.
Bye-bye.
That's
will
the first
die
thing to go.
Can we get back to Project 863 now?
Yeah.
Today's
probably
Satan.
a good idea.
Not today. But also, back to my original theory. Wes is general idea for ghosts is something that has been tethered to this world through an object. But what I'm thinking is, what if he's tethered to this world through Deb? Or he's not
Okay.
near. Dude likes his car.
Are we even sure that Deb's alive at this point? Like,
No.
Or maybe it's
I
his
mean-
car.
Yeah,
Maybe he
Artemis.
just really likes his car.
I posted my ringtone in the chat.
Oh gosh. I'm
I'm
listening.
listening to it right now.
It's just Matt.
Artemis.
Just yeah.
Bitter nugs, do your magic.
Artemis.
Do my
Download.
magic. What do you mean?
Artemis.
What do you mean download?
He just goes download.
Yeah.
Download.
I know that phrase he just used very well. Anyways, back
Back to Project 863.
yes.
Again.
Again.
Again. That's what it's gonna be January 1st, 2026.
Artemis.
Project 863. Back again. Revived from the dead.
Artemis.
I mean, honestly, okay, did anyone else get annoyed that they didn't jump to the last bit to see if the ground had been disturbed?
No,
What do you
I
mean?
was very annoyed. I was like, skip to the end.
Yeah.
See what the ground
You
is.
skipped to the end to see if your GoPro picked up the footage of the ground being shoveled out, and if it didn't, then just go back to see if you could find the phantom. Like, to me,
I just-
They didn't
What I
do
would
it
do
right
is-
away, but they went towards the end.
Yeah, I mean,
To the end.
they started scrolling through the footage, and then the phantom's just in your face in the footage, and they were kind of taken aback with it, and they focused on that at the moment, but at the end they did go and see.
no, they
that
didn't.
the
I'm
GoPro
going
did
back.
not-
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah, they
didn't. I'm
did.
going back.
Yeah, they
Yes, they
did.
did.
No, they
They
did.
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 Yes, they did.
Because they went all the way to the end of the video and it wasn't anything. Because then
Yeah, 'cause
that's when they said,
You know what-
was it after it turned off or something like that?
Yeah, it either turned off or fell or
died.
They found it.
Or
they found it on
maybe
the ground.
Maybe they tried to make it seem like they skipped to the end because someone walked in frame.
Hey, Squatter's listening. Hi, Squatter.
Hi, Squatter.
Squatter, hop up here and tell us why the government is evil.
He'll do it. Don't tempt him.
Yeah, he'll do it.
You want to prove that the government's evil? I come with proof.
I come with proof.
You want to know how the government's evil? Taxes.
Taxation
I agree.
is the...
Yep. Agreed. Alrighty, well, thank you for coming and sharing that theory. It's very interesting to think about.
Indubitably.
Alright, have a good day. Oh, sorry.
I feel like you're just like me. I say indubitably.
Indubitably? Wow.
Indubitably.
I haven't said it in a long time. It felt good. It felt good to say that.
I can't say
Indubitably?
Why? Right now you can let me know.
Alright, thank you for coming. I forgot how to do this.
Kick me already! Kick me! Kick me!
It's just like, let me out of here.
I'm the Joker! Kick me! Kick me!
Oh, moved audience. Found it. I found it. Okay. Artemis, you think we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Or do we want to? We've been going.
I don't know if our attention spans can. I don't know if our attention spans can do it, but let's throw one more in.
Alrighty. Let us go with subject 4863.
Yes.
I'm gonna invite you to speak. Hello.
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 Did you have a question, comment, or theory?
Yes, that Deb killed us.
That
This is an interesting theory.
Wait, what was it?
He said that he believes that Deb killed Wes.
But why would she try to save him in the tapes, the Mountaineer tapes?
This is a theory that I have thought of myself, but I can't really bring the end of it together.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of things to. Okay. Well, let's. Alrighty. Do it.
Sorry.
Kaylin was just like, I can.
I've gone down this route as well.
Yeah.
So the idea being that you were talking about how Deb doesn't realise that Wes has to die regardless.
Yes.
Well, what if she does realise that, and she does kill him in one of her timelines?
Oh, just to start the process over.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. To do it quicker, just instead of
Like
waiting.
it's just like hitting the reset button. Like she knows she already failed, so why not just
Get
off
it
him
over with.
herself?
But why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like somewhere, like a Dexter room that they just built. Like, why would you do that in your vehicle?
She's not trying to dismember the dude. She just wants him dead. Like,
Shades.
I just had a
Think
really
about
bad
what you
idea.
just said.
I just had a really bad feeling. Because, like, we know there was probably a third person in the car, right? And the car was under Wes's name. But hear me out. In the passenger seat is their child. And whoever is on the back seat, and we know whoever was on the back seat was the one who shot the driver. What if the child was in the passenger seat?
Well, I rewatched the footage, the camera footage, and it didn't look like a child in the passenger seat. I could kind of see arms moving, right? And they
Yeah, they're kinda
weren't
high
the
up.
size of a child's arms.
no, in the dope or nope style video, we call it the cheap versus expensive investigation products. They actually confirmed themselves that what happened was the passenger of the Mountaineer shot the driver.
Yeah.
And that's why the blood pooled in the driver's seat and it ran under the driver's seat into the back seat, pooling in the floorboard.
Okay, but I'm still scared that either way, the son or the daughter of Wes and Deb might have been in the car and saw that. I'm really scared of that possibility now.
It could be. It completely could be a possibility.
Because what's worse than a child watching their own parent? You know, not to demonetize us any further.
Yeah. Like, we have to use the term blaster now.
Pew pew.
So the guy used a
Toy
pew
cars, Nerf guns.
a boomstick.
The guy used a pew pew.
He used a boomstick.
These are funny.
Alrighty, well, subject, thank you for sharing your theory.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And now I actually know how to do this, so thank you for joining. Have a good day.
Well, this was fun.
This was an eventful episode.
It was.
This was a good, and just the podcast
Pokemon
in general.
Go in the graveyard.
Can I blame Shades for it being weird? But I think we all were weird. We all even Kaylin contributed it to it.
I mean,
telling you,
I brought in Pokemon Go.
Chaos follows me wherever I go, and I'm not sure why, but I enjoy it. So I hope
Until now, you've seen
everyone
the
else
tame side
enjoyed
of
it as
me.
well.
Yeah.
Today was the most game and fun related, and toil related podcast episode ever.
Probably.
Toys,
It's usually like that with open
Legos.
night, Mike.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
It's
but
always fun.
It's nice because then, even though it sounds like my voice is starting to die, usually at the end of podcasts, like I need a cup of water. But when you guys are up here, you guys do most of the talking. I just sit back and just like poke fun at your theories or something.
That's all we're here for.
Yay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for especially our moderators who are working in the chat. Thank you to especially Airport, who's been moderating YouTube and moderating our chat and posting our links.
I left you alone tonight. I'm so sorry, Airport.
It's fine.
It's probably fine.
She knows how
She
much
knows
we
the
love
rope.
her, and
At least she didn't have competition to get the links in the chats
yeah.
this time.
Yeah, but I want to thank Kaylin. Thank you for being here with us and talking and being just weird with us. And please be sure to check out Kaylin's YouTube channel. They are the Science Babes. We do have links. They are posted in the chat. And we probably can dig them out. There we go. There's Airport already on it. I love Airport. Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Kaylin. And if you guys don't know, Nugs is my editor. He has to be here. No.
We've said this before. Bound and gagged in a broom closet.
Shades. I also grab Shades.
What he doesn't hear live, he hears in the editing afterwards. So he's a minute
and over again.
Yeah,
hours and hours.
I'm gonna get so tired of
it
us.
is. It truly
is of hearing the same person over and over. I got so sick and tired of hearing my voice. Shades, I basically demanded you to be here tonight, and you showed up. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the chat. Once again, the conversation does not end here. We have like YouTube channels like Kaylin. We have the Red Mountaineer Mysteries. We also have an 863 reaction channel. Who's that by? What is his name? Nugs? Isn't it just 863 reaction on YouTube?
It's 863 reacts, I believe.
863 reacts is the channel. Getting his name now. His name's there. It's up here.
I mean, his name's not 863 reacts. I feel lied to.
Wait, your name isn't Shades?
Wait, it's not?
It's not, because I know what it is, and you know mine.
Don't you dare. That's what it says on my driver's license.
It does not.
Yes, it
It
does.
does not.
You don't know any different.
His name is Noah, so check out Noah on the 863 Reacts YouTube channel, which I will link here.
We also had the Red Mountain, the Red Mountaineer Mysteries. They are also found on YouTube. We have Twitch streamers. We have We Are 863. We Are Subject 4.
Subject 4.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
We are Subject 4 off of Twitch. They're great people. That is hosted by Jordan and Angel. But once again, the conversation does not stop here. You have Reddit, you have plus.spellbound.com, and if you guys post any theories, please at me. I know that some people, Caitlin, I've been seeing that people have been adding you on their own theories. Have you been seeing that?
I have, yes.
Yeah, but feel free to add Caitlin as well, because
please,
yes, because that's what we want. We want more theories. We want you to be engaging into the story, and the more that we communicate with each other, like Ink Knight was saying earlier, the more that we are talking to and building theories, the more that we can help out the story, the more that we can help our characters, and that's why Subject 4 is the best subject. If you want to hang out, our VC is going to be open on our Discord. If you're listening to my voice on YouTube, the Discord link is in the description. We hope to see you guys here, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Love you all. Bye.
Laters.